Oh, the weather outside is frightful, and I am so delightful. Welcome, one and all, to whichever holiday you have to fall. Okay, here we go. We have Happy Hanukkah.
Woo!
Put on your yarmulke and drink your gin and tonica and have a happy Hanukkah. And then we have winter solstice.
Yay.
The longest night of the year. Longest night of the year.
Good for vampires.
Lisa, that's no. This is a winter holiday video. Oh, jeez.
She just said good for vampires.
Yes, yes.
Don't tell me it's going to be zombie apocalypse too. Okay. So anyway, the longest night of the year. Wow. Celebrate, celebrate, dance to the music.
Oh.
And then we have the Christmas.
Ah, yes.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And then we have Kwanzaa. Woo! I don't have a song for Kwanzaa. Why not? Huh? Didn't anybody write one?
Oh.
So happy Kwanzaa, one and all. Unity. And what the candles for Kwanzaa stand for. It's powerful. So this is a very amazing time of year and powerful. Did you know that it's actually about more than please, thank you, give me, Lord? And it's more than ever about Santa Claus. On the 6th of December, it's Saint Nick. Saint Nick. And when I put my shoes out in the hall, do I get fruit and nuts and candy? Or do I get sticks and stones and lumps of coal? I've gotten both. But not this year. This year it's been candy and nuts and fruit. Woohoo! And I even have a wonderful neighbor, Craig, who brings me acorn squash baked and lovely fresh carrots all baked. And oh my goodness, with butter and salt, they are yummy. Delicioso. If you want to eat only orange food. Oh my goodness. I hope that everybody is having a wonderful time, even though the earth is having a difficult time. But we humans can do something about this. We hope that 2022 may be a much, much better year than 2021. And it's in our thinking. It's in the words that we speak. What do you hold in your heart? What do you hold in your mind? I speak my word, and so it is. I speak my word, and so it is. That is why we do, what is it, girls? Grats and pats. Okay. I am grateful for the snow. The other morning when I looked out my windows, and I'm on the 10th floor in downtown Salt Lake City, and when I looked out and saw the trees and the fresh snow, and no one had walked and no one had driven, it was so pristine and peaceful and quiet and clear, and you could just feel spirit. nature and how wonderful it was to have all that noise that we're constantly hearing just be soft and not existing at that particular moment. It was beautiful. There's a Christmas card out my window. Thank you. By the way, I want to say thank you to all of you who have given or sent me holiday cards. It's been fun, and I so appreciate that you think of me. I'm so grateful. Thank you, thank you. We're going to have a Christmas party here on the 22nd, which is Wednesday. And Thursday night, I have a donor who has donated some funds so that some of our seniors, me being one, can receive some holiday cheer. So that's going to happen Thursday night. Uh-oh. We got growly bears going on. The dogs are at it again. Then, Christmas. I actually got a text from my son.
Oh.
Sean Patrick Cochran. Boy wonder. Although he's not a boy anymore. He's a majorly grown-up guy. And he said that he had ordered a Christmas meal from Costco and that he is also going to be coming over.
Oh.
That's going to be a first for years and years and years. So I'm looking forward to that. You know, life is good. Life is good. This is also the time when we all can get really greedy. What'd you get me? Gimme, gimme, gimme. You know, this is the time when we can concentrate perhaps more on giving kindness and compassion and love, and really start focusing even more on your gratitudes. I am grateful for the love in my life. I am grateful for my puppy, Chi. I am grateful for friends, holiday food, and that there is food, and there seems to be plenty of it. I am grateful for the kindness and compassion that I receive from my medical team, from my friends, from family, from my community. I am blessed. I'm so blessed. How are you blessed?
Yes.
You know, and when you think of all of it, it's like, what is really the most important to us? That our friends, our family are with us, are healthy and whole, that it's been a tough year, and yet we made it.
Yeah.
We've gotten through it all, and we can continue to get through it all. I pat myself on the back for getting my booster. I got a Pfizer booster. Yay, team. I pat myself on the back for having a purpose in life. And part of that is the videos. Part of that is being a doggy mom. Part of it is for the various people who call and text and ask for my advice. If I can help steer them back on restoring the balance, the time is now. What are you grateful for, my dear?
Oh, I am grateful for people. to come home to when I have a long day at work and I'm sometimes there till 8.
Ah,
And then I have a cold drive home in the winter
yes.
weather. I'm so grateful that when I open the door, I've got my family in there.
Yes. Yes. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
And that everybody is basically healthy,
Mm-hmm.
mentally, emotionally, spiritually healthy. Stacy, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful to live in a high-rise apartment in a city. I'm grateful to live in a city where I can walk to Gallivan Center and watch people ice skating.
Ooh.
I'm grateful that there's really cool architecture around where we live. That's always been a highlight for me, living in an area where there's really cool buildings that have fun history to them, and taking myself on little history walking tours. I'm grateful for Lilli to care.
Thank you ever so much. I'm grateful for gloves.
Yeah.
Woo!
I'm grateful for masks. I have an entire wardrobe, all different colors, all patterns of masks that I can wear during this time. And it's going to be time to get out your gold lame mask.
Oh, girls.
Celebration time. And the more we are around people, the more we really need to mask up.
Mm-hmm.
And I pat myself on the back for saying yes. When there are times I want to say, oh, I just want to turn around, go to sleep, and stay in bed.
Yes.
When it's cold, I want to be warm and snuggling with my little guy, Chi.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is also a time that we need to connect spiritually. And hi, Dan, how are you? Good. Woo! So we want to connect spiritually and think about moving beyond greed. But this is also the time of year that we tend to feed everybody, okay? But I also know that in our society, we tend to feed people on Thanksgiving and Christmas, and the rest of the year you can all starve. So how do we remedy that? You know, we do have the food pantries. We do have GoFundMe, thank you, God. We have so many avenues of resources. And learning to say yes. One of the things I'm thinking about that I would like to see if I can resolve this year a little bit is to quit cursing so much. I'm really good at
why,
it.
Lilli? Why?
Oh, I know.
I mean, I don't want to question your resolves, but I think it's quite delightful.
Well, yes, but I'm thinking, what is it that I want to put out there? And, you know, I speak my word, and so it is. And that when you think about it, what does that mean? It means when you curse, I speak my word, and so it is. Oops. You know, I want to take a look at that. And maybe what I'm putting out there at times when I have fear or anger, maybe I don't want to put that out there. Maybe I want to shift and change that energy. So that's one of the things I'm looking at. What's something you're looking at resolving for the new year?
So I'm a child of the 80s where we were always told there are children going hungry in the world. So as an adult, if my kids don't clean their plates, or my husband, I do it for them. Because I'm like, we can't let this food go to waste. So now I am a jolly giant person. So in 2022, I have this thing called the rule of 2. So if we have pizza, 2 slices, that's it. You know, if we have tacos, 2, that's it. Don't let things go beyond 2. If I make cookies, you can have 2 cookies and stop. So I'm going to try and get myself to learn to stop. And I've noticed that I'm full after 2. That's all I really need.
Good.
So that's my goal for 2022. Take care of my health.
Oh, that's
The
wonderful.
rule of 2.
That's wonderful. Stacy, what about you?
My goal is, I think, the same as last year's. So I was doing like a women's visioning workshop last year around Solstice. And we were asked to check in with our inner wisdom.
Okay.
And ask our inner wisdom what would be a good resolution for me for the next year. And at the time, I wasn't expecting that I would have any awarenesses, because I was kind of tired and out of it and hadn't really been able to get as deep in the workshops as I'd hoped.
Right.
Busy mind, all that kind of stuff. But so clearly came the sentence to not choose things based on their extrinsic value, but only on their intrinsic value.
And what does that mean?
So for me at this point, it's anything that I do is because it's coming from a place within me of, I don't care what the outcome is. I don't care what other people think. I'm not looking for approval. I'm not looking for rewards. It's not extrinsically, externally motivated.
Okay.
That if every single thing I do, it's because there's a sense within me that I really want to do that.
Okay.
And the doing of it is its own value. And so this past year, I've been doing that more and more, and it's been incredible. And so I just kind of want to keep leaning into that. And that also means that when I have an internal deep sense of, this is something that is important to me, I value, I want to do this, that I don't let other things, other obligations come in and take that over, that I just really honor when I have strong internal motivation to do something.
Good.
And prioritize that.
Can you give an example of that?
I think, because I'm an actor, a lot of times I'm given auditions, and I think it really shows up in the acting world for me, of if I'm doing a role or auditioning for a project, or in my audition, I'm constantly thinking of wanting to prove myself, or, oh, I really want this role because then that would show everybody like this is a big role and it da-da-da-da-da. But I haven't taken time to check in with myself about, what do I want to do with this role? Let's say I'm panned and nobody gives me approval. Is there value for me in this role? And just kind of really orienting myself that way. Teaching. Sometimes there can be the sense of I really want to prove myself, or I really want people to think I'm a good teacher, or I want to get validation, which is a recipe for disaster. That is horrible. I've learned the hard way that can never be a motivating factor for teaching ever. Because if somebody says that I did brilliantly, fabulous, but somehow that isn't worth all the effort. If someone says I did horribly, that can really derail me and throw me for a loop.
Right.
But when I'm doing it because I find value in that interaction and in that moment, and that's enough for me, then people can say whatever they want to say, and I can really detach from the outcomes and let people have their own experience of things, because I'm doing it because of my own experience.
Wonderful. That is just absolutely fabulous. One of the things that I did is I got myself a subscription to Guideposts. Now, I have read this little magazine off and on most of my life. Granted, it's a Judeo-Christian magazine, and yet I find so many things in here that just really helped me. And basically what it's about is, just average everyday people and how they survive their traumas and the things that are thrown at them. Because the truth is, life is hard. Life is not easy. Life is wonderful. Life is beautiful. Life's a challenge. And life is Earth School, and that's why we're here, is to learn how to be more mature, to learn how to have wisdom, which comes with experience and age. And sometimes we will, have young ones in our lives who think they know it all. That's probably never happened in your life.
No.
But the truth is, I know that when I've had young adults who come to ask me to teach them, I might take them on for a short while, but once they get into their ego crap, their ego garbage, and get into patronizing me or questioning all my teachings and everything, it's just like I just back off and I let them go do what they want to do. It's not my issue, you know. And oftentimes those very same young ones will come back later. Sometimes it's much later. You know, I had one student that came back after 30 years.
Whoa.
You know, and that's just perfectly fine. You get it. We all get it when we get it, you know. And there's a reason why we show honor and respect to masters, to teachers, you know, to the facilitator. There's a reason why. I mean, they've studied this a lot more than we have, and it's time, you know, to honor, respect, and courtesy. As Gandhi said, kindness and compassion are my religion. Yes. What are you doing for the holidays? For Christmas, for any
Christmas
holiday?
holiday? Well, we...
Solstice, anything.
Yeah. Well, Solstice, we get to go to Christmas Carol at Hale Theater,
Oh,
which is our family tradition.
cool.
For some reason, the kids just love doing that every year, so I'm like, okay. And then Christmas, we don't have our family across the street this year, so we're having Christmas Eve with these guys, Christmas Day with just us four, and then Boxing Day with Mom.
Oh,
Mum.
So
okay.
that's what our plans are for the coming fun things.
Well, that sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Stacy?
Same.
Same.
Pretty much.
Same.
Yeah, I think Christmas Eve just whoever comes over to Dad's house, hanging out. Christmas Day, don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dan and I have enjoyed on Christmas Day, because we lived away from family for so long,
Uh-huh.
that we both enjoy having a day where you can just kind of sleep in
Yes.
and do whatever feels fun, whether that's
Yes.
staying in bed all day and just watching movies, or
Yes.
Dan makes a really good Christmas roast.
Oh.
So I guess in the UK, it was really fun living in London and kind of seeing Christmas traditions over there. And
Yes.
because they don't have Thanksgiving, the Christmas tends to be, you know, just like a Christmas Carol, it tends to be the time when everybody gathers and they have a huge feast, and, you know, I want the biggest bird in the shop, you know, and they have mince pies, and they have so many fun, you know, specifically UK dishes, and
Yes.
Christmas crackers, where you pull the
Ah.
ends and little toys fall out and somebody gets a crown, and
Oh. And trifles.
yes, trifles,
Yes.
always.
That's really delicious, you know.
Sticky toffee pudding.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, so I think probably just like the more open we can just let that day really be a pure day off of any expectation, and then day after going to my mom's house, and we do a secret Santa,
Oh.
because my mom comes from a family of 5, my dad comes from a family of 6 kids, we are a family of 6 kids, and then there are now, you know, nieces and nephews and grandkids and all that kind of stuff. So we pull somebody's name and we have a price limit, and that's the only person you have to get a gift for, unless
good.
you feel like doing
Yeah.
more.
We used to try and give everyone presents.
Yeah.
Then we all started getting married and having kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're like,
And it gets too expensive and too crazy.
Then you've got your brother-in-laws, and you've got and then
Yeah.
it just starts to be 50 presents, and
Right.
Yeah.
In-laws and outlaws. And
Yes.
I also want to address for those who don't have family. And I'm one of those who don't have a large family. I have my son when he chooses to be in my realm, in my world. And he's also got his other family on his dad's side who's in Denver, you know, and I completely understand that, you know, that's walking a tightrope trying to juggle all this. And so I just try to leave it alone, let him do what he needs to do. And I'm so grateful he has other family. I'm grateful he doesn't have to live his life like I have had very little family. And I've spent a lot of holidays alone. A lot of holidays alone. And yet I have, like Stacy was talking about, utilized those days as sleep-in days, delicious breakfast days, movie watching, book reading, listening to music, long baths, and just enjoying them. And it's your choice. It's our choice. How do you want to do that? Do you want to go into the, wow, nobody loves me, I'm going to go eat worms? Or, oh, I'm in the deep hole of Calcutta blues. Many of us do that because there's that whole atmosphere of we've all got to be happy and familial and celebrating. And it isn't that way. And as a matter of fact, society, cultures have been changing dramatically. And we are creating new traditions, wonderful. Like going and singing Christmas carols at the Hale Theater with your kids. Fabulous, wonderful. If that's what the kids love, those make amazing memories and treasure them, because oftentimes as they get older that goes by the wayside because life changes. And I really think, coming back to, I'm grateful and I pat myself on the back for not sinking into the abyss. And one of the things that I find, and I relax and let whatever unfold throughout the holiday season. And the most fun thing is, I'm getting cards and I'm even getting cash. Oh my goodness. Slipped under my door.
Oh.
And it's like, thank you. Oh boy, do I like those angels. And I'm just relaxing and having fun, and whatever unfolds is perfect. If nobody comes over, if nothing's happening, oftentimes I turn on the tube and there's Frosty the Snowman, or there's a reindeer or a cartoon or just whatever, or a Christmas movie, a feel-good sort of thing. And for a lot of my friends, sometimes they're really into sports. And that's what they want to do. And it's like, perfect. Do what is fun. Do what makes you feel good. But also leave some room for spirituality. Leave some room for thinking about, what do I want to create in 2022? Something that I've had students do for a long time, if they choose, is to do 101 wishes, 101 wish list, which is so fun. And that's the magic number. It's 101 wishes. Remembering that wishes are not goals. There's a big difference, okay? Goals are have-tos, all right? Wishes are fantastical. They're out in the ethers somewhere. They're things that can feel like, oh, there's no way on earth or heaven that I can possibly, that could happen. I know that one thing I would absolutely love, I want to go back and see Europe before my demise. I would love to go on a Viking River cruise.
Yes.
Woohoo! I'd like to go down the Danube, and just see all that. So those things would be fun for me. But, keeping in mind that I do have glitches in getting around and that sort of thing. But I also know that there are ways to accomplish, and just having them show up. Whatever. I also want to do some road trips if at all possible. You know, just friend times. Just getting together with friends. People are so much more to me than things. And I'm sure there's a lot of stuff, modern stuff, technology and things that could be beneficial to me. And yes, and not really. You know, like I had visitors this afternoon, and after they left, something that I do to kind of just help me chill and relax is I'll get on my cell phone and play solitaire. You know, just because I don't know why, but it's relaxing to me. And then I went and I started reading a James Patterson book that I had bought recently, and it was called First Case. And I'm, you know, like in a page 139 or something, you know, and I just have fun doing those small things. Playing some Christmas music if I want, and snuggling with my puppy. So that's really just joy for me. What gives you joy?
Ooh, I think doing something that will create a strong memory, a strong happy memory, or accomplishing something that's been sitting on my to-do list for a long time.
Yeah.
That just seems so overwhelming, and then you're like, I'm going to dedicate tonight to this stupid thing.
Yes.
And then you finally get it done, and just that euphoria.
Yes.
After it's done.
That it's no longer hanging over your head.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's good. Stacy, what gives you joy?
One of my favorite things is completely unstructured time.
Yeah.
I find that that's like worth its weight in gold. Just days to kind of listen to my body and wake up when it feels like it's authentically time to get up. I love wandering.
Yes.
I love finding a cool neighborhood or a street that I haven't been down, or going a different route somewhere, giving myself plenty of time.
Oh, yes.
Hanging out with my little Charlie Bean.
Yeah.
And taking her on these walks with me and these wanders with me, and then I have someone to share the fun. So the other day we walked down to the Gallivan Center, and there were all the people ice skating.
Yes.
And Charlie just thought it was incredible. I picked her up because the ground was a bit icy, and we stood near the edge of the ice skating rink, and she was just straining against my arms, just leaning forward, and her little head was going left and right and left and right, and she was just watching everybody and smiling and panting, and people noticed her and they'd skate over and, you know, say, oh, hello, and give her a little rub, and she just couldn't believe it. And I kept trying to put her down so we could leave and continue the walk, and then she would just like strain to be lifted back up again. So we were there for like a half an hour, and she was just completely blissed out and like slept that entire night.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's so fun. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I think on that note, I would like you folks to consider what gives you joy. You probably hear me say that a lot. And also your grats and pats, and I know that I address that all the time. And yet, no matter how much I get on the bandwagon and claim that and address that and speak to people about doing it, how few do it. I'll tell you what, if you will send me via text, if you will send me your grats and pats, and I ask that you do 6 of each a day.
Can they also send them in the comments section of your YouTube page that this is posted on?
I would prefer that they do the texting. And the reason I do is because for some reason my phone kind of, I don't seem to get all the comments, you know? So it's like I'd love to, but I just don't know that I get them or that people get my messages in return. So that's why I'm saying, text me 801-577-6119. And if you will text me your grats and pats, I in turn will send you my grats and pats. And that's a biggie, because when I get people, I will send you different ones. I'm not going to send you the same ones that I'm not going to send everyone the same ones. I'm going to keep shifting and changing for each person, because I have so much more than 6 a day. And whether you know it or not, so do you. Yet most people at first begin to go, how can I come up with 6? And how on pats? How on grats? And it's like, guess what? That's called work, doing your homework. And if you want to have a balanced, restoring the balance, the time is now. If you want to have a balanced life, this is where you've got to begin. This is the foundation, the core of any spirituality is your grats and pats. And I know it's simple, and yet getting people to do it is like moving a mountain mustard seed there. So I challenge you to do that, and to start doing that for the new year. I would love to text you back, and I will make that as a commitment. And perhaps I'll stay healthy long enough to do those things. Whee! That would be so fun. And also let me know if you see a pattern in your 101 wishes. Because oftentimes we will do a pattern and we will see, so I actually want to go on a cruise, Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, so that's what this is about. Or I really do want to get healthier, and that's what all these wishes are about. Can see that there's actually kind of like you fall into categories. Remember, 101 is the magic number. And do it until you have 101 wishes. Then remember, wishes are fantastical. They are not goals that you have to accomplish. And then put that aside, and maybe once a month go and look at that list and mark off what has happened, or write something down about what has happened around those wishes. May not be the exact thing, but it may be a portion of it. Okay? And I know you probably get tired of hearing me say it over and over again, but please, please, for your sakes, for your own sake, please do that. For your good. And then for the good of your family and your world and all the people that you interact with, and teach them this. It's a very simple thing. You also will notice it could get frustrating because so many people go, oh, that's great, and not do it. And yes, we are coming into a new era. We are coming in, yes, things are shifting and changing. And guess what? We have lost a tremendous amount of respect and courtesy and honoring. And that is actually something that young people, that all people need to bring back into our world. All over, not just in the US, but all over. We need to bring those things back in order to have peace. It may require a world government someday and a world religion someday where people are not engaged in competition and everything being competition. And that may be a very long time in coming, or it could come in quick time if the earth, because she is pissed off. you know, and she's saying, y'all get your acts together, or I'm gonna force you to do it. You know, she is our mom, and we need to tread on her lightly. I hope that all of you have a fabulous end of the year. Happy holiday, holy time. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. That's your challenge. Love, Lily.